Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by CEO and founder Matt Schmidt of Peoplelogic. Hi there, Matt. How are you doing?
Hello, nice to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Quite interested in actually having this conversation. I mean, when I was reading a lot about, Peoplelogic, seems like you guys are doing quite interesting work around. I like the idea of turning data into valuable insights for people to understand. People within their organizations are really interested in learning more about that. Please do tell us more about Peoplelogic and the origin story there.
Yeah, so Peoplelogic is on a mission to help scaling organizations unlock their full potential through insights. And the origin story for Peoplelogic really came from my last company where I bootstrapped that company over the course of 15 years to a successful exit. And what I found over that time was that one, everything's interconnected within your organization. Two, that the outside macro events that are happening around the world, and even more so today, have a huge impact on your ability to be successful, right? Even if you're totally executing properly. And then three, that there is a wealth of data within your organization that you're just leaving on the floor and not making use of. And so, we have been on a fairly focused journey since early 2020 to be able to help companies make use of that data. And today, we're very focused on helping companies build more effective teams by having a more intelligent people and performance management solution on our way to being able to help companies see around the corner for all those macro events and internal risks that really can derail you as you're trying to scale.
Sure. When you guys talk about data, I mean, obviously, I mean, we've just sort of mentioned and given us a little bit of a preview of what sort of goes behind the insights. I'm interested, what do those look like? So when we talk about data within organizations, that's, sort of helping managers and folks to sort of make decisions. What does that really look like, and what does it entail, maybe?
Yeah. So, the way we look at it is that, and when we talk about data, it's basically the data that exists in the flow of work. So if you think about all of your cloud tools that have these things called APIs, as some of your audience may have heard about, we connect to those APIs. So, we don't rely on, whether your camera's on or whether your keyboard's clacking or any of that, right? It's is there meaningful work that's happening on your way to driving key results, right?
Yeah.
And so it might be your HubSpot or your Salesforce or collaboration within your public Slack channels or even your source code repositories and those types of things. And so within all of that data, there are useful signals. And these signals are everything from what value to the organization they're driving to the stress that's part of them, or heuristics around how long this particular event or action is taking. And so once you gather all that, all those signals, then you're able to stitch it all together. And that's really where the magic happens and the secret sauce, and understanding that the things that are happening within the organization are all interconnected and they have impacts on the way we work. And so then we can start to surface, okay, you know, are these two teams working together effectively? Right? Or is there some bottleneck? Is one of our largest customers at risk? Or are we spending too much to actually service that customer and maybe we should lose it? Right? Or, are we helping companies, carry out a less biased, less, qualitative performance review? Right? Can we use our data and our signals to help both the manager and the employee carry out a more data driven review and build a better workplace? And so there's lots of different uses for all these signals that come from both the systems that you use and the systems that we provide um, to help use to build more effective teams.
Yeah, you sort of tapped into the mission. I'm interested in the goal. So when you're looking just at the landscape and some of the work that you guys have done and some of maybe the work perhaps that you guys are thinking of doing, what's the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal for us when we work with companies is to help them get to that next stage. And so we work with, and I say it that way because we we work with companies at pretty much every step of their journey, right? So, you know, whether they're just starting with process and needing to have those sort of initial systems, or whether they're, further along the optimization curve and they're able to, uh, be more proactive, we have solutions along the way. And so when we come in and we start to work with an organization through our software, it's about helping them get to that next stage as fast
Mm,
as they can with the least amount of risk, right? Because we're
gotcha.
working with scaling organizations that are growing quickly typically, and we are there to help them be able to scale more efficiently with less risk.
Yeah, yeah. Um, at this point, I want to change the gears and get into some of the challenges because I mean, of course, you guys are working with sort of different facets and different sort of parts of the businesses, and I'm sure, as you mentioned, businesses that are scaling have a lot of moving parts, and I mean that at some point can potentially have some challenges for you guys.
Mhm.
The audience here for Hustle Wing is mostly side hustlers and contract workers. What would you say are some of the challenges that you guys have at the moment that you guys could see yourself sort of leveraging some contract work from our network?
Yeah, so we as a startup, we're always looking to leverage the broader global market of whether it's side hustles or contractors or gig workers or you have it, um, and so we do make use of those things, particularly today. One of the biggest places that we have opportunities is in our sales team. So we serve a very global audience. And so, what we've been finding is that we're able to facilitate deals closing at a much higher rate if we're dealing with um, salespeople, account executives, or business development folks that are in the same general location. So when we
Mm,
deal with native speakers, or we deal with at the very least people who are native to the culture, then we are able to facilitate the carrying an opportunity from inbound to close much more easily. And so that's really the first one. There are also opportunities around our in our marketing team for when we have graphic design work, or whether we have some website work. Today we're in the middle of converting our website over to Webflow from WordPress, and I'm doing all of that work today, and so having folks that we can call upon as we need to make changes is also helpful, right? So
uh,
it's it runs the gamut. As a startup, there's lots of different things that happen every day, but those are just two places that we see some more immediate need.
Sure. Thanks for that, Matt. Before I let you go, you've sort of spoken a lot around, a very, I suppose, innovative and dynamic way of approaching data and insights. And I can't imagine, the amount of, I suppose, work that sort of goes in for the companies, obviously, because obviously you sort of want to you want to make sure that the structure and you guys are sort of coming in and saying, hey, we can use some of the data that you guys have to actually help you create some of those structures. How has the platform or the solution how has that been received and what's the traction like so far?
Yeah, so I mean, today we have 1,200 organizations using our software across tens of thousands of employees, and that's a very global. I think we're in 90 different countries right now. We originally started with a freemium model, and that helped us gain some initial traction. Um, and now we're very focused on monetizing that. Part of what we really focus on is helping companies minimize the amount of change they have to go through in their org to roll out our solutions. And so, at different stages, that might involve someone from our team helping with training and enablement and pieces of content, right? In other cases, we've built the platform to capture the data without the need to go through a lot of change management. And so we're very focused on that because we found when there is a lot of change that's involved, then, that's where employees and managers and everybody else start to put up the barriers to, adoption. And they really just don't want to adopt yet another tool.
Mhm. Yeah, got you. For folks at home who want to sort of plug in and learn more about the work that you do, where can they find People Logic online?
Yeah, so you can find us on our website at peoplelogic.ai, or feel free to find us on LinkedIn. You can just search for Peoplelogic, or feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well, and be happy to chat about what we're doing.
Sure. Matthew, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sure.